who would like to remind you that it's a long way to empty in a Datsun. A long way. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
It's a very special thing to have Monday Night Football in the national capital. It always has been, and we have a very special pride tonight to be able to start the second decade of Monday Night Football. We've got, we think, a great contest coming up and a great week coming up. A special Thursday night edition as the Rams go to Tampa to go against the Buccaneers, a replay of their playoff game of a year ago, perhaps. In the meantime, Washington must do it tonight without John Riggins if they're to do it, even as Dallas must do it without Roger Staubach, as you already know. The Riggins graphic and figures speak for themselves. He was one of the finest backs in the National Football League. He is now on retired reserve, so he'll not be playing football this year. And two, one of the hottest, one of the most traditional rivalries in the league between two clearly excellent and contending teams. To tell you more about the Washington Redskins, starting his 10th year on Monday Night Football, I've grown accustomed to your face. You almost make my day begin. The Giffer.
You're growing on me. It is a game I'd like to be home watching, quite frankly, because that is the kind of football Dallas and Washington plays. And Howard showed you at the top of the show what happened in the last game of the season between these two teams. Dallas won the Eastern Division of the NFC. Washington lost by 1 point. They don't particularly like each other, these two football teams. And for Joey Theismann coming in tonight, well, you just saw his confidence blossom a year ago when no one was looking over his shoulder as Billy Kummer did for a couple of years. 3 years in Canada, came to the Redskins in 1974, didn't start till 76, and last year he was the second-ranked quarterback in the NFC behind, well, you guessed it, the one and only Roger Staubach. Roger will not be here tonight. He's in Dallas. He'll be watching the game along with you. And, Don, you left the Cowboys one time as a quarterback. There's a little pain and a little anguish.
Yeah, there's a little pain when you leave out of that thing. And one of the things that, you know, Roger's not going to be here. We've said that a bunch of times. And as a matter of fact, there he is right there, Roger Staubach. He's not here. Well, it won't be the same without Roger, but then, hey, nothing ever is. One of the things when you come into a game like this, I think any player, whether it's Roger Staubach, Danny White, anybody, you want to play in football games like this. There's a lot of pressure on Danny White, but I don't really think that the pressure is going to be the key thing tonight. Dallas is coming in as an underdog, and that's kind of unusual. The rivalry with these two teams have had has been discussed. It's really true. The Cowboys, for the first time in an awful long time, are not picked to win their division. They're here to play Washington. I bet you there's not a guy down there on that field who would change places with anybody else tonight, because that's what kind of night it is when the Cowboys and the Redskins get together. The Cowboys got some trouble in the secondary. We'll get to that a little bit later, but right now I want this game to get started. Get my friend and yours, Shake Tiller, where? Let's get this thing kicked off, Frank. Let's go.
Tom Landry beginning his 21st year, the winningest coach in the 70s. He has had a remarkable record since joining the Cowboys, the only coach they've ever had. 14 straight winning seasons, 13 trips to the playoffs, 11 division championships, 5 Super Bowls, winning Super Bowl 6 and Super Bowl 12. Jack Pardee, a great name in football, was a superb player with the Los Angeles Rams, later the Redskins, successful in the WFL, successful at Chicago, took them to the playoffs for the first time since 1963. He brought the Redskins back last year to a 10-6 record. They're a better football team this year than they were a year ago, and the Cowboys are hurting somewhat. Don mentioned their problems in the secondary. We will talk about it because it could be one of the key elements tonight. Vinnie Barnes, the veteran cornerback, an appendectomy this morning, out for 3 to 4 weeks. Charlie Waters, the all-pro safety, playing on a very gimpy knee, coming off knee surgery. And Dennis Thurman, replacing a retired Cliff Harris at free safety. Cliff Harris, an all-pro for many years. Aaron Mitchell, a second-year man, will start at the right corner, replacing Aaron Kyle, number 34. So you would have to suspect the Redskins and Jack Pardee would like to exploit that weakness in the secondary. Dallas has won the toss. You're looking at James Doan, a rookie out of Mississippi State. He's 5'10", a 201-pounder. He can really fly. Mark Mosley will kick off for the Redskins as they began their 1980 football season. There is Mosley. 9 rookies have made this Cowboy football team, so obviously they are in a period of transition. So So sit back and enjoy one of the classic matches in football. The Redskins against the Dallas Cowboys, and we are set to go. 55,000 wild-eyed Redskin fans. Mosley, typically, boots it high, and this will be Jones. Jones turns the corner out over the 25. Hit hard there. The special teams for the Redskins are always well coached, and they execute so well. Offensively, we will see Danny White, of course, at quarterback number 11. Ron Springs has replaced Robert Newhouse, number 20. He's in there with Tony Dorsett, the wide receiver for Tony Hill, number 80, and Drew Pearson, number 88. There's the offensive line, a good offensive line, solid. They've been together. They're well coached. Both teams 3-1 in the exhibition season, coming off final preseason losses: Dallas to Pittsburgh, Washington to Tampa Bay. The crowd has got to be a factor for some of the young Cowboys tonight. There is no crowd like a Washington Redskin crowd. Dorsett, a little delay, slithering along the line of scrimmage, darts to the left and picks up a couple of yards hit there by Big Dave Butts. And he is having a fine preseason. Is the unpredictable one, Dave Butts, about a 290-pounder, if you will. There are your linebackers. We will probably see a great deal of Monty Coleman, number 53, a second-year man at linebacker. And there is the secondary. 3 of them, Pro Bowlers. Lamar Parrish, Kenny Houston, and Joe Lavender. They're excellent. The cornerbacks, Parrish, Lavender, 16 interceptions between them a year ago. Second down and 8. Ball just short of the 28-yard line. Dorsett, following Scott, turns the corner, out close to the 35-yard line, hit there by Kenny Houston coming up from strong safety, short of the first down, third down, and a long 2.
It's always wise to keep your eyes on Kenny Houston, number 27. Perennial all-pro strong safety. Andy, you'll remember his one-on-one tackle at the goal line that kept Walt Garrison from going in 73. One of the classic plays on Monday Night Football.
Really was an exceptionally good defensive play. The thing that Dallas is doing with Dorsett right now is not surprising either, I don't think, Howard, because 2 plays, let him run with the ball. I'm sure they're going to try to get it to him as much as they can.
Third down, long 2. Tony Dorsett looking for his 4th consecutive 1,000-yard season. White wants to put it in the air. Wide open. The tight end is number 84, John Cosby. Incomplete. Monty Coleman back there defending. We told you, you'd see a lot of him. He's a great athlete. 11th round draft pick, one of Bobby Beathard's specials, the personnel manager for the Redskins of a year ago. 4th down coming up.
Example, Frank, where you had a receiver open for a first down play. The ball stayed in the air a little bit too long. Hung there a little bit too long. Cosby didn't have a chance to hold on to it.
There's Coleman, Danny White. They did not want him to punt this year. They couldn't find anyone better. He was the second leading punter in the conference a year ago. Deep is Mike Nelms, another Bobby Beathard find in Canada. He had the CAFL in returns a year ago. He'll get the call at the 20. The setting up.
Oh, that's good. Right there, that's good one.
The Redskins and their special teams. This is what they do to you constantly. To the 39-yard line goes Mike Nelms.
Twice, Frank has mentioned Bobby Beathard, who, of course, is the general manager, who came up from Miami, who used to be director of player personnel for Shula, helped develop those great Miami teams. He may now be the best in the business at the discovery, evaluation, and procurement of personnel. He's the core of this rebuilt Washington team in the front office.
Daryl Theismann tries to find the Redskins fans. First and 10, 39-yard line of the Redskins. First possession, Buddy Hardeman, left side, out over the 30-yard line to the 31 or 32-yard line. Theismann in there with Buddy Hardeman, number 22, also a young football player who came from Canada a year ago. Clarence Harmon is the fullback at the moment. We'll probably see Wilbert Jackson a little later. 83, Ricky Thompson. 80, John McDaniel, wide receivers. And we will see a 3-wide receiver platoon as we see it right now. Art Monk, a rookie from Syracuse, the Redskins' #1 draft pick, their first draft pick that they've had since 1968. Second down, 7. Ball at the 42-yard line. Fires complete. Goes to Hardeman. Gain of about a yard and a yard and a half. He wanted to go to Monk. Monk was covered. He had to check off to Hardeman. Mike Hagman made the stop.
Good pressure there, Frank, from Larry Cole, who was playing in place of what a lot of people thought would be John Dutton. You see the defensive line, Harvey Martin.
And Bob Brunig, the middleman, is always a key factor in any Dallas 4-3. And there is that shuffled secondary we told you about. We will repeat it because it could be a major factor tonight. Third down and 5. The ball at the 44-yard line of the Redskins. We're just underway. Pass tips it to Monk. Monk has the first down. Getting the ball in front of Aaron Mitchell, who performed well against Pittsburgh, but he does not have the finesse to play that spot as of yet.
I think both you and Dandy pinpointed the storyline as we look at Art Monk and his preseason record. Joe Walton, the offensive coordinator, the old Giant teammate of Frank's, doesn't like to go with his young ones, but Monk is clearly in the mold of Charlie Taylor, one of the all-time greats. He has the capacity to be almost as good, if not as good.
Redskins in Dallas territory at the 46-yard line. Monk back in there again. Motion man is John McDaniel coming towards you. This is Harmon lining up in defensively the play that Charlie Waters has been waiting to make since he had that surgery a year ago.
He needed that.
But the very point I wanted to make was, Frank, that both you and Dandy pinpointed what seems to me to have to be the storyline of this game. It's very hard under any circumstances to gain on the ground against that Dallas flex defense. They'll have to test that weakened secondary and go to the air.
There was a loss of 2. It'll be second down and 12. The ball now back at the 49-yard line of the Cowboys. Hands off. This is Clarence Harmon, left side. Piled up there defensively by the Dallas front four, the right side. Harvey Martin, Randy White there. It'll be third down and about 11.
It's hard to do it going to the air when you wait until third down to do it. Additionally, in the National Football League, you've got to throw early in each series against Dallas. True, Dandy?
Well, it certainly does help. It puts a whole dimension to it. I think what you're talking about really is true because you've got, as Frank mentioned, Billy Barnes is out, so you've got a lot of new faces back in there. You would think that that's what Washington's going to try to do is check them early. A lot of young guys that haven't played much.
Third down, long 11. Another rookie is in there as the 6th man defensively. His name is Clinkscale for Dallas.
On a quick look, it appeared that Theismann pulled away a little bit too early. That happens a lot of times on third down. Everybody knows you're going to pass, particularly the quarterback, so he left a little early.
Bob Kazeel was there for the Redskins. Fourth down, punting. The Redskins bring out Mike Connell, who replaced a long-time kicker for the Redskins, Mike Bragg, who, by the way, is now over Baltimore. Deep is James Jones. There he is on his own 10-yard line. The rookie from Mississippi State. Ooh, Redskins have had problems with that center on their special teams. Fair catch called for and made at the 20-yard line, the Dallas Cowboys. 30-yard punt. The Cowboys will have their second possession at their own 20. And we'll be returning to a jam-packed RFK Stadium in the nation's capital after this.
Okay, here we go. Little smile,
A carnival-like atmosphere has prevailed over the nation's capital for the last week. Anticipation, of course, for this meeting. These two teams having played so many great games over the years. Dallas now second possession. First and 10, the ball at their own 20-yard line. Ron Springs again. A fullback gets the ball, finds an opening over the right side behind Jim Cooper and Rafferty, and spurts out over the 25, close to the 28. Gain of 8, second and 2.
You learned about Ron Springs a year ago. He's a Gil Brandt special. Gil, who is the ace discoverer and evaluator of personnel for the Cowboys and has done a remarkable job through the years, discovered Springs at Ohio State, where he was not what you'd call a star, but Gil knew that he was a great track man, and Gil knew what his potential was.
Good baseball player, wasn't he?
Springs carries it for 8, second down and 2. Hand off. Springs, first down, out over the 30 to the 32-yard line. And he's in there because of a lot of talent. He is a good receiver. This they discovered. Actually, he was injured as a senior at Ohio State. He led Ohio State in rushing as a junior. But the Dallas Cowboys were able to get him on a 5th round because of that injury as a senior. That's how you build football teams, with people like Gil Brandt and Bobby Becker.
Exactly.
And with guys like Ron Springs and who else?
Let's try Tony Dorsett.
Yeah.
Back into the I formation on the first down. A delay again to Dorsett. And down goes Dorsett, taken there by 37-year-old Coy Bacon over the right side. A gain of maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Barry Brooks was the guy that kind of headed that one off, though, Frank. He's moved in there in place of a very familiar name when we do Redskin games. Is Tyrone Talbert out of the University of Texas, but Perry's had really good preseason. A little bit younger, and they say maybe a little bit quicker, and he's got the starting nod over Darren now.
Well, he went to Southern University. He quit for 2 weeks during this training season.
That's an interesting little story you got.
Yep.
2nd and 9. Redskins into a prevent. Look out. White got a man open. There is a flag down, and Lamar Parrish has the ball.
Well, there is a flag down.
Parrish brings it back to the 30. Again, there is a flag down at midfield.
We saw that the intended receiver was Drew Pearson. Drew was, it is going to be a call against Parrish because Drew was knocked down. Yeah.
Pushed him off.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it again.
Look at the time down. Danny's getting some good time, and man, that's nothing makes you feel any better than that. Says, okay, a little bit of a wobble, but you'll see Pearson's down. Lamar came on the inside. Didn't get a clear shot of it, but he did push him down the outside. All right. Hey, is this an ABC we're working at? Wait a minute. That's awfully close call, as a matter of fact.
It really was.
But that's what it was. Pushing. First down now.
Out at the 39-yard line, Gene Barth, our referee here tonight with his crew of NFL officials.
Lamar Parrish, a great veteran, came in a great trade engineered by Beckett along with Coy Bacon, who provided the pass rush.
Wide receivers, Pearson and Hill, move to the left. Both bottom of your screen. Inside end on Dorsett. Spinning and twisting out over the 40, close to the 43-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Rich Malott, who's in there now at middle linebacker, number 57 in on the stop.
He'll see a lot of action tonight because Olkewich isn't 100%. Dorsett found Olkewich of Maryland, a free agent. Malott, Penn State. Where else? Linebacker, 7th-round draft choice. And Monty Coleman from Central Arkansas, all last year. And that's why Washington went 10 and 6.
2nd and 6, the ball at the 43-yard line. A little more than 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Dorsett gets the call. Big opening on the right side, but he has to bring it inside, and he gets that little bit of extra effort going for him up just short of a first down at about the 48-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and long, too, as we take a look at Joe Theismann.
Yeah, leaders are lonely, but they do live a good life.
He's worked his way into a great quarterback in the NFL.
He's become a mature quarterback.
Well, he had a great year last year. The word around Washington, they say, well, look, is he going to be one of those flash in the fans, or can he really be a good quarterback? I think he's going to be a good quarterback.
He's disciplined now. He calls percentage plays. Gift.
3rd and less than a yard. The ball at the 48-yard line. Springs and Dorsett, the setbacks. Dorsett. Look out, he drops the football. That has been a problem for Dorsett. Oh, not all that big. He gets back on it. Dallas has a first down inside Washington territory at the 43-yard line. Monty Coleman made the hit on Dorsett.
Let's see where he hit. This is just a 3rd down short. Everybody's coming in. You see Springs trying to lead, come across on the other side. That was Rich Malott, the middle linebacker, kind of slid off. There he was right there. Almost not, I believe he was knocked out of as much as anything else.
You saw the block by Billy Joe Dupree. He's a tremendous blocker. You also saw
Jay Saldi in there,
Jay
too.
Saldi, the other tight end. Short yardage offense for Dallas pays off. First down, 43-yard line of the Redskins. No score. Less than 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Drew Pearson in motion. Screen to the flanker, Tony Hill, and he can run.
They caught him in a good... Oh, that was...
Down to the 25-yard line goes Tony Hill. First down, Dallas.
Getting back to the storyline, Washington's got to test that Dallas secondary, and they've been lax in doing it, giving away the first 2 downs on each series they've had the ball.
Here's a nice one. You see Drew Pearson on the inside. It could have been a defensive mix-up because when Drew went in, the coverage went in there with him and left Tony out there by themselves. It's an old play in the Dallas playbook. Looked like Tony was looking for his first down marker, and he got it.
But they're doing exactly what they want. Possession and control. Use the clock. Frank.
Keep their defense off the field. Dallas would like to do that. Springs gets the call on the first down. Surges for a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
You know, we've been talking a lot about the nervous situation of Danny White. I'll guarantee you now, that he's had the kickoff. He's had a kickoff. He's had a try first down. He's punted. Now, none of that stuff's in his head. He's now sitting out there and said, hey, I got a job to do. He is experienced. He's been around for a while. So those first pregame jitters by now are gone.
Danny White brings it up to the line of scrimmage. Tom Landry back to calling plays on the offense after working most of the preseason with the defense. 2nd and 8. Screen should be there. Springs.
Oh, that's set up nicely.
A beautiful screen. Springs will take it in, and easily. Flag is down at the 5.
I think they got a Cowboy over there for clipping. It looks like it's Drew Pearson from here.
So unnecessary at that point.
He had him wiped out anyway. You're right, Frank. Touchdown's going to be called back. That was Dupree, I guess.
Clipping against Dallas, and you will hear the roar of the Redskin fans.
A beautifully set up screen pass. That one was really well. A little fake into the line, drop back good, spring set to the outside. They had good blocks.
You have to be impressed with the way White has handled this team downfield, moving strictly, I'm sure, according to game plan, with Tom calling the plays now that the season started. But personal foul, number 88 offense, unnecessary roughness, still 2nd down.
That's
a bad penalty for a veteran.
Yeah, there's a little quick fake to Springs. You see that he sets back up, comes to the outside. Had a real good block there on the outside by Rafferty. Close him off. Springs does have that good, more of a broken field runner than Newhouse is. Not as big, nor quite as powerful.
I'll tell you, that's a playbook screen.
That is.
The penalty moves them back to the 20. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
That's got to be an audible. And there it is. And the outside receiver missed it.
Hangs one up, and it's taken by Drew Pearson, but it'll be short of the 1st down. A gain of a couple, maybe 3. Dave Butts was pressuring Danny White, and defensively, it was Lavender and Kenny Houston for Washington.
Frank, it looked very suspicious to me. I think Danny White made an audible move, and I don't think Pearson got it to the outside. You see Danny look up. Ordinarily, Danny must have thought, or anyway, they usually call those when they think a blitz is coming, and that's a down and in move. Pearson, I don't think, heard it. Went ahead and ran an out route. They were lucky to get that thing off and get anything at all.
Dangerous pass.
Yeah.
Pearson gets it to the 17. They need to get inside the 15 for the 1st down. It's 3rd down. 2 tight ends. Dupree, 89. Sally, 87. Dorsett. He has the 1st down. Dorsett to the 13-yard line. What a remarkably gifted athlete, Tony Dorsett. If he gets 1,000 yards this season, he will become the first player in the history of the NFL to record 1,000-yard seasons their first 4 consecutive years.
Hasn't played much, Frank, since the opening, few plays of the Houston game with a bruised thigh.
I don't think they mind.
I don't think they do either.
Not playing.
Yeah.
They know what he can do. That's the Redskins' 13-yard line. We have no score. 2:33 remaining in the 1st quarter. Dorsett again. They work the right side. Dorsett works the left side. Dorsett will pick yardage up. Dorsett close to the 5-yard line. At the 6-yard line, Pete Wysocki made the stop.
You talk about individual effort and skill. That was it. He did it on his own. Watch.
Ordinarily, of course, this is not going to work. And there's very few backs that can make it work even once or twice. He happens to be one of them.
Boy, is he fun.
Yeah, he is fun. I love this sort of jazz. Now, you see that, Thrill Hill's trying to get a block in there. Drew's trying to get a block. But it's basically Tony.
That was a pretty good tackler that missed number 24, Lamar Parrish.
That's right.
Short of the 1st down. It'll be 2nd down, long 3. Ball inside the 7-yard line. Pearson split to the right by Danny White. Dorsett again. Touchdown, Tony Dorsett.
Man, that's a big hole over there.
They have been going to the right side against Carl Lorch and Dave Butts, behind the blocking of the big tight end Billy Joe Dupree and Jim Cooper.
Well, they got Cooper and Rafferty on that side. They really are pleased with their offensive line, but that's an awfully big hole. This is close down into the goal line. It's a big hole on the outside. I think you nailed it. It was good blocking. They're working that right side of the line pretty well.
And as Howard mentioned earlier, Dallas doing what they want to do. They are hurting defensively. They would like to be able to run the ball tonight, keep their defense off the field if they can. You're looking at Raphael Septien at his finest year as a field goal kicker a year ago. Puts it through the uprights, and the Dallas Cowboys have a 7-0 lead over the Washington Redskins. 2:15 remaining in the first quarter. And the mood of the crowd has quieted as the Cowboys take the lead. We'll be back in a moment. The offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys putting on a first quarter show. They are pushing the Redskins around the football field. Raphael, Septian, deep for Washington. They like the ball to go to number 21, Mike Nelms. Septian will try to avoid Nelms. He will not. It will be the former Canadian Football League player from the goal line. Nelms out to the 50, still on his feet, and goes forward to the 17-yard line. And Dorsett put on quite a little show himself.
They'll get Rafferty, 64, get a good inside move on Butts. Coming to the outside, that's a good, really good lead block on the other side by Herb Scott, the guard coming through. There's just nobody there. Big hope. Touchdown. Touchdown, Tony. There you go, right there. Touchdown, Tony.
That block by Scott was a beauty.
Scott came through. I didn't notice that when I saw it before, but he did come through.
Jay Saldi. The Redskins. I know they would like to exploit that patched-up secondary of the Cowboys, and they immediately go to the air. The receiver, John McDaniel. And it's complete out over the 20. First down, Redskins. Out over the 25. Close to a first down. We'll correct ourselves.
Now that's what they're going to have to do, Dandy. They're going to have to throw on the first and second downs of their series.
The man in there is Steve Wilson defensively. He was a wide receiver and a return specialist a year ago. And he is forced into play because of the absence of Benny Barnes. We told you top of the show, Benny Barnes, the veteran cornerback, had an appendectomy this morning. There was a first down at the 27. Betty Hardiman, right side, piled up there as he gets a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Hegeman in there defensively.
And that first down pass play, Frank, there was an excellent block by the center, Bob Bazile, who came out and blocked Edie Lewis, an outside linebacker, blitzing that time, which is going to throw it man-to-man coverage on this side. There's two ways to try to protect a young secondary, and one is to go into kind of zone coverages and try to give them double help. The other one is to try to get a lot of help from that front four and send a linebacker over now and then. The indication is Dallas is going to blitz.
The brain trust, Tom Landry, and of course Danny White. Second down, called it a long 8. Ball inside the 28-yard line. To the air goes Theismann again on first down. Firing complete is to the big tight end, Phil DuBois. Phil DuBois pressed into action tonight because of an injury to number 85, the regular starting tight end, but there's a flag at the 18-yard line.
It is going to be a roughing the passer against Harvey Martin, it appears. Harvey was arguing a little bit with the referee. He must have hit him. Yep.
The boys in there again tonight because of a slight fracture of the fibula to Don Warren, the regular tight end of the Redskins. Here's the call, referee Gene Barth.
Well, this is Washington's first test of the year.
Roughing the passer, 79 defense. The 15 yards is tacked on to the play. First down.
There it is, exactly as Dandy called.
You see Harvey coming in. That's an awfully close call. Back in the old days when they didn't protect the quarterbacks quite as much, maybe
they would not have called that.
I don't think they would have, but there is a new rule to try to protect that quarterback. And
not a bad idea. Keep the field around a little longer. 41-yard line after the penalty. The Redskins on the Cowboys 41. Play action by Theismann. Going to McDaniel, almost picked off. It was Dennis Thurman who is in there for retired Cliff Harris. He's not big, but he has that knack for getting to the football.
He is all over the field, and he has been consistently during the preseason. He's been playing great football.
Well, there's a little play-action fag. He would look to be fairly wide open, but you'll see Thurman right now coming over. That's a ball that should have been picked off. And that's his job. Back of that, they always relate that to the center fielder. He has to cover a lot of ground, and they tried him at cornerback. He's much more comfortable with the free safety.
Second down 10, 41-yard line for the Cowboys. Harmon gets the call over the left side. Picks up 3.5 yards down close to the 38-yard line as the final seconds are expiring here in the first quarter.
But what Washington must do is establish to themselves that they can answer back and quickly because of the way the offensive line of the Cowboys manhandle them during the first quarter and enable the Cowboys to play according to their game plan.
Big play coming up for the Redskins. Third down and 6 in Dallas territory. They will not get it off. First quarter is over. A fast first quarter, and Dallas has a 7-0 lead. A Tony Dorsett touchdown. A Tony Dorsett and an offensive line showing by the Cowboys. I'll tell you, if that were reality, believe me, I can tell you who the winner of the debates would be. Hands down.
Idea.
Not a bad idea. Third down, 6. An important play for the Redskins. The ball at the 38-yard line, 37-yard line of the Cowboys. Theismann. He gets the first down. Very close to it. It will depend upon where they mark it. I believe he has it close to the 30. Larry Cole making the stop on Theismann. And this is what Joe Theismann gives you, a little extra. He's a fine athlete.
Dexter Clinkscale, the young rookie, missed Theismann up about 5 yards before. But that was a good move by Joe, and just coming back up under. He had pretty good pressure on that defensive line.
Dexter Clinkscale.
That's what I said, didn't it?
It's a very good name.
Yes.
South Carolina State.
Dexter Clinkscale. Yeah.
Free agent, by the way.
Yeah, he's got a couple of brothers. I think one of them's at South Carolina State now. One's at Duke.
That's a school for free agents. Witness Donnie Shell.
His brother Brent is the quarterback at Duke.
Really?
Very athletic fan.
I just thought I'd throw that out. See, I'm in the information business.
Ball inside the 31. Redskins down by 7. They're just underway in the second quarter. Theismann changing up at the line of scrimmage.
Here they come. Look out, Joe.
John Kelly. And he dumps it off. D.D. Lewis pressuring Theismann on the blitz. And that's one way to compensate for lack of experience, such as the Cowboys have defensively in their secondary. You shoot your linebackers. And D.D. Lewis is a good one to bring in.
First quarter statistics. Clearly, look at that ground gained by Dallas. That's the key statistic. Total yards evolved from that. Dallas dominant throughout the first quarter. They've had 12 rushes and 4 passes. So they're making that thing work.
Second down, 10. McDaniel and 80 split left. Theismann to the air once again. To McDaniel. Complete. First down, he bobbles the ball. Nope, they say he did not have possession. Incomplete. Aaron Mitchell, Dennis Thurman, defensively for the Cowboys.
Frank, then you know that really, truly, the ball was right there, and you know that McDaniels is going to catch this thing 9 times out of 10. So it's a good, I think you give a lot of credit. That ball was slightly tipped right there.
Hey,
look at Aaron Mitchell come in to strip him, and there's Dennis Thurman. That's the thing right there. These two kids were out of position. They came in and still caused an incompletion.
Frank, and the word on Mitchell is, and I'm sure you know, he is a physical football player.
He may not be the best in the world at one-on-one coverage, for example, but he's a hitter.
He's got a guard on his mask at the moment.
Sure.
Third down, 10. Inside handoff. Buddy Hardiman. Funny call to the 28-yard line.
And that was a Mitchell again that came in there and almost hit late, but that play was very slow in developing. Didn't get much out of the backfield. No quickness. Too slow. Those guys are going to recover. It's going to be interesting, I think, to watch Charlie Waters work that secondary. He's the defensive quarterback.
Well, you have to see how much. And Frank made the point he's going to hit because he's been self-protective because of the injury.
Mark Mosley comes on for the conversion attempt. 25 of 33 and 79. Most field goals ever made in the NFL. Straightaway kicker. Theismann is the holder. So you never know for sure they're going to kick. Off to the left. No good. And Dallas will take over. They'll have the ball. First and 10 of their own 28-yard line. So Jack Pardee disappointed in that drive of the Redskins. And it was a funny third down and 10 call. We'll be back in a moment. The only coach the Cowboys have ever had, beginning his 21st season, Tom Landry. Yep. First and 10, Dallas, 28-yard line, their own 28. They lead 7-0. Drew Pearson goes to the right. This is Ron Springs. Springs turns the corner, taken out of bounds by Lavender, short of the first down.
Is Tom claiming face mask there, I wonder?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
It looked very suspicious.
You saw that little bounce-out move that Springs had. That's one of the main reasons why he's the starting fullback.
You know, he just gets it done, Don. He's nothing. He's not flashy like Dorsett.
That's what
he just always comes up with it.
I think that's what Tom was.
Face mask.
Yeah, he played. Lavender kind of came around with that right arm. We couldn't see it too well, but it was right in front of Tom.
at 9 yards. A second down and 1. Ball out at the 37-yard line. Dorsett following Spriggs. Upended. Close to the first down is Tony Dorsett. Hit there by Terry Brooks.
Terry Brooks is a good one, I think.
He is terrific.
Yeah.
Third-year man, as I said, Southern University. Had never really worked hard. Decided to quit football. Left camp for 2 weeks. His wife had a baby. Came back. And started to work as he never had before. He's the key now, ahead of Coy Bacon, in Washington's ability to pass rush.
Dorsett got the first down at the 38-yard line. Tony Hill now split to the right. Drew Kersey split to Danny White's left. Dorsett. It's a block from Scott. Piled up. Short of the line of scrimmage. Rich Malott over there defensively from his middle linebacking spot for Washington. Quick reminder, Saturday coming up, NCAA college football action. It's going to be a beauty. University of Pittsburgh against Boston College. Now, Pittsburgh has a great defensive player in Hugh Green. They got a young sophomore quarterback in Dan Marino. Pittsburgh really a strong contender for the national championship. Other games, other regional action, Michigan State at Illinois, North Carolina at Texas Tech, San Jose State at Washington State, San Diego State at BYU, Florida A&M at Miami of Florida. Check your listing for the game in your area. There was a loss of 1 by Dorsett. Second down and 11. Dorsett gets the call, and down goes Dorsett. There was big Dave Butts hustling across there to make the stop and hold Dorsett. Back at the original line of scrimmage, it'll be 3rd and 10.
On the prior play, Frank called number 68, Herb Scott. In the first quarter, Dallas was running effectively over the right side of their offensive line. But the left side is a powerhouse side. And now they're beginning to move behind Pat Donovan, who's all pro, a great player, and Herb Scott is having a tremendous game.
3rd down 9. First time for the shotgun tonight for Dallas. White, a lot of time. Man was open, and he threw it into the arms of Mark Murphy, the free safety of the Redskins. Flag is down at midfield. Flag is down at midfield. There were 2 or 3 Dallas receivers open.
But there were 3 or 4.
And it's going to be called against the Redskins, but after the interception.
Let's take another look. I didn't see a great deal of pressure in here. See Fitzgerald up in the middle. They've got some time to throw. That's what you call a little bit of nervous speed in there. That was just a poorly thrown ball. I don't think anybody ran the wrong route. Didn't look like it to me. Just one of those balls that you kind of get back in there and you get a little nervous and throw it wrong. You throw it wrong people.
And Scott and Donovan made the tackle on Murphy. 2 men we just talked about.
Call illegal use of hands against the Redskins. We did not pick up the offender, but the Redskins maintain possession at their own 43-yard line. First down, the ball goes to Ike Forte. Forte sprints to the sidelines, out of bounds, about the 43-yard line, a gain of 1.5 yards.
So he's got Forte in, once a second-round draft choice from Arkansas by the Pats.
And Wilbur Jackson has come in.
And that's the guy,
Number 40.
I think that's the guy you're going to have to watch. He's in good physical shape. He's excited this Redskin team. He's quick, the former Alabaman, who's great coming out of the backfield for the pass reception.
Last year, 53 receptions for the San Francisco 49ers. Coming off knee surgery a year ago, did not have the great rushing season. 375 yards last year with the 49ers. Second down and 8. Theismann. Good throw. Is out to Art Monk, the rookie from Syracuse.
That was a
Monk up for the first down.
good throw that time. He got some pretty quick pressure. Joe set real well. There's the man that picked off that interception, Mark Murphy. Mark, you were in the right place, fella, at the right time.
Art Monk looks to be a good one.
Keep your eye on that kid, Dandy. He is going to be a great football player.
Art Monk,
yes.
Yeah.
He's like Tony Hill, as I think you mentioned, Howard. He was a running back for 2 years at Syracuse. And then last last year broke all the Syracuse pass receiving records. Art Monk. Here comes the blitz. And Forte goes down in the arms of the middle linebacker, Bob Bruning,
who has improved enormously in the past year. In the meantime, you saw the quick glimpse of 50 D.D. Lewis as we look at Bruning out of Arizona State, 6 years. Lewis is one of, I think, 6 Cowboys at most, maybe 5, over 30 years of age. And he's been around forever, and he's always around the football.
And what did we count off for the Redskins? There were 15 over 30, I believe. Second down, 13. The ball just over midfield. McDaniel splits to the left. Phil Dubois in the slot. The ball goes to Forte. Turns back and runs into Randy White and Bob Bruning. Gain of a yard and a half. It'll be third and long. Third and call it 11.
Good play. Get that call.
Well, you were talking about it. I don't know whether it was on the air or during the commercial, but I believe you were referring to Weeb Eubank and Emerson Boozer running the draw.
Well, Weeb had a fetish, and he used it effectively, calling a draw with 3rd and 10 or more. But he had Emerson Boozer and Matt Snell.
And he wasn't running against Randy White or Bob Bruning that
That's
time.
correct.
Those two guys covered it up pretty well.
It kind of makes a difference.
Yeah. The ball at the 48-yard line. Theismann looking over the Dallas defense. Tries to go to Hardeman. He was covered by Dexter Clinkscale, the rookie free agent from South Carolina State. 4th down. The Redskins will punt.
All right, quickly, an update on some baseball scores. The American League pennant race. The Birds of Baltimore are fighting back. They won the first game. They're leading the second game over tough Detroit. The Yankees scored 4 in the 9th, so they're ahead 7-4. Toronto Bell.
Mike Connell will punt for Washington. Off the side of his foot. Flag is down, and the ball goes out of bounds, very near the line of scrimmage. But again, a flag is down.
I bet Mike Bragg's not too far away. He's probably watching this one.
You know, Connell didn't kick at all last year. Penalty against the Redskins, and of course declined by Dallas.
Yeah, that's a toughie right there. You at least want to get them back down to their end of the field.
Refused, number 53, first down.
What was the penalty?
Illegal man downfield.
Illegal man downfield.
Refused. Dallas has the football at the 43-yard line. They also have a 7-0 lead with 9:02 remaining here in the second half. Sellout crowd at RFK Stadium, 55,000 plus, and we'll be returning after this message. Mike Connell had the ball go off the side of his foot. The punt good for 5 yards. Penalty against the Redskins, declined by Dallas. They have the football at the 43-yard line. Drew Pearson, bottom of your screen. That's Tony Hill up at the top. Danny White on first down, puts it in the air. Tony Hill. Tony Hill has a first down at the 44-yard line. He had a great preseason. Well, what's new? He had a great season last year.
It's a great player.
Frank, let's look at that. Well, this is ISO on Tony, but what you can see is the linebackers going out. They faked a little screen to that side. Didn't get any help from the linebackers that time. He had Lavender pushed back because Tony Hill can run. Everybody knows that.
Lavender single coverage too, Don. That's tough.
Yeah, he was so far off him, it was ridiculous. But with Hill, normally the action first begins when he catches the football. That's his greatness.
Ball at the 43-yard line of the Redskins. Inside handoff, Dorsett. And Dorsett runs into Big Toy Bacon. A loss of a couple.
You know, Bacon always fools you, Don. Every year they write him off. He's too old. He had one of his greatest preseasons ever this year. Still superb on the pass rush, and tonight evidencing an ability against the run.
37 years old, 13 years in the pro.
Started with the Cowboys,
yeah,
didn't he, Don?
I've known him for a long time. Yeah, that's one of the few guys that are still playing I played with.
There was a loss of 3, so it'll be second down and 13. Tony Hill split to the right, Drew Pearson to the left. Danny White wants Tony Hill. He's open. A beautiful move. He turned Lamar Parrish every which way but loose.
He really did. The ball was thrown beautifully. And when it goes, Danny, got to feel better. Joe, you can do it too. Where do you get the ball?
Face speaks volumes.
They covered him again, one-on-one. They tried to bump him here, but then he was stuck with Lamar Parrish single coverage.
Frank, you know this is a week, you know, they call it also a corner route or whatever it is, but the ball has to be thrown before he makes that turn. And you can see that one was right on the money. Tony had a good heel. Parrish hasn't even come into the picture yet. So it was a good execution on both sides.
You do that to Lamar Parrish, that shows what kind of receiver you are. Quite apart from the excellence of White's throw, because Parrish, a veteran, is one of the better cornerbacks in the league. All pro.
37-yard pickup. The ball at the 9-yard line. It'll be first and goal.
Another formation.
Out of the backfield goes Pearson. Inside handoff Springs. Springs met by Kenny Houston at the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal.
You know what I like about Springs, Frank? He gets yards that you don't think are there.
He picked that hole pretty well, didn't he? Go ahead and make a little move back to his right.
Comment we made on Vegas Ferguson, the Notre Dame rookie with the Pats.
He was the leading rusher for the Cowboys in preseason. Switched, of course, from tailback a year ago, where he played behind Dorsett, and he replaced Robert Newhouse as the starting fullback. John Springs, we're speaking of. Tony Dorsett gets the call. And he got yardage you don't think he can get also. Down close to the goal line, inside the 2.
Certainly did on that play.
Ken Houston again, forced to make the stop. It'll be third and goal, inside the 2.
Well, again, you can see Big Herb Scott trying to lead in there. It's good close off on the right side of the line, but some of that certainly was made by Tony, who just followed the blocks.
Did you see that block by Springs against Monty Coleman?
Yeah.
3 tight ends. Billy Joe Dupree, 89. Jay Sowley, 87. Doug Cosby, 84. They have a wealth of talent at tight end through the Dallas Cowboys. That's Sowley in motion. Danny White has a man open and does not hit Cosby defensively. It was Mark Murphy for Washington.
Well, they played that pretty well. That was Kenny Houston on the outside. He didn't go for anybody's fake. They were trying to have a little fake to the inside. Danny wanted to get outside pressure. You got to get outside your tackle to really make that play effective. He'd have some threat of a run from the quarterback. They never got to the outside. Cosby had a hard time getting open.
Credit to the Washington defense.
Yes, sir.
Dallas with a first and goal from the 9, and Washington holds at the 2. Charlie Waters will hold for Rafael Septian on 4th down. 6:09 remaining in the first half. 19-yard attempt. A half a 9-iron. It's good, and Dallas extends its lead to 10-0. So Washington, with a good defensive effort, stay in the ball game. We'll be back in a moment. We're in the nation's capital. You're looking at a helicopter shot.
A little shaky up there. It's all right. It's pretty.
The Jefferson Memorial, and it is a beautiful night for football. It was warm today. Rafael Septian will kick off for Dallas. This will be Ike Forte for the Redskins. And Forte close to the 25-yard line. Make it the 26, piled up there. Bobbled the ball, and Gary Anderson came up with it.
All right. Now then, you're 10 points down.
They need a big play. They really do. Dallas has been able to maintain possession. They've been moving the ball on the ground, working on the clock.
Well, we may see a change in momentum here because they made a big play when they held Dallas on Dallas's 3rd down, containing them to a field goal.
First and 10, the ball at the 25-yard line. Dallas has the football. 5 minutes more this far in this half than Washington. And Wilbur Jackson is really hot.
You can't call plays like that. Not at this stage, not even in the beginning. You don't run on Dallas.
Bob Brunig filling the middle.
Was it Brunig in there?
Don't forget, a Thursday night special. This Thursday, just 3 days from now. Monday Night Football fever, 2nd decade, and what a game we've got. The Rams come back to Tampa to go against the Buccaneers. With their brilliant defense, the 2 teams met in the playoffs a year ago, a repeat. Gipper?
Jackson, the single setback for Washington. Gets the call, right side. Ed Jones, who was playing better than he did when he left a year ago and set off on a boxing career.
He's a better player than he was before he started in boxing because training as a fighter quickened his hands and, for that matter, quickened his legs. He may have left boxing at just the wrong time. He might have had a shot at Scott Ledoux.
He also had good help from the outside that time with Mike Heckman, who came in to close. Heckman has been around for a few years down there in Dallas, but has never really been the starter. He's replacing Thomas Henderson, and they're expecting big things from Mike.
Third down, a little more than 9 yards to go. Heisman this time will go to the air on 3rd and long. Fires out, intended for Clarence Harmon. Defensively, it was Anthony Dickerson, another free agent rookie out of SMU that's traveled around a little bit. They picked him up. He was out looking for work in Los Angeles.
Hey, red, yay, blues. SMU, smooth.
They do everything at Dallas. They really do. They're a great organization. They make defensive linemen, offensive linemen, and they make it work.
This is Connell. His last punt was 5 yards. Certainly, he will look for improvement. Jones calls for and makes the fair catch and bobbles it at the 42-yard line. The rookie from Mississippi State. Dallas again with fine field position following a 34-yard punt by Mike Connell. We'll be returning to the nation's capital right after this message. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith. Our first game of a new decade of NFL Monday Night Football. The Washington Redskins, the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has a 10-0 lead with 4:21 remaining in the first half. They have good field position once again. The ball at their own 43-yard line. Billy Joe Dupree spit out top of your screen. You can just see his feet. He's the tight end. Dorsett gets the call. Inside handoff and gets out over the 45, close to the 46, hit by Coy Bacon, who's playing a fine defensive game for Washington tonight.
He really is. Brooks almost had Tony behind the line of scrimmage, but Tony slipped out.
He did. It was Fitzgerald's job to try to cut him off. It's a very difficult thing to do. Defense. You need some of it, and the offense wouldn't hurt either about this stage. But Butts is so big in the middle, he can control it pretty well. He's been there for a long time, Fitzgerald.
Springs is out. Dorsett single setback. 2 tight ends. 89 Billy Joe Dupree. Jay Saldi. Saldi can play like a flanker. Screen. Dorsett. Oh, good defensive play. Dorsett still struggling in the arms of Rich Malott.
Malott read that play beautifully.
What he read was John Fitzgerald, who pulled out from his center spot and moved over there to set up a screen. Malott was reading that center, and he went right along with it. And then had the speed and ability to cut in on the inside of Fitzgerald, get back to where Dorsett was.
We saw this youngster last year. I think Howard mentioned it earlier. He broke his wrist in the 7th game, but he was really a surprise when he came up as a 7th-round draft pick. But I guess if he's a linebacker from Penn State, that's not too surprising.
They do it automatically. It's par for the course. Yankee rally, 4 in the 9th, salvage the game for them. They retain their 4.5-game lead. They've won it 7-4. John's 20th victory.
3rd down, 18. Inside handoff to Dorsett, much like a reverse.
I think it is, and I think it's...
Look at him fly. Dorsett turns on the speed, gets the first down at the 45-yard line.
Now, how many times are you going to pick up 15 yards on a reverse? Now, not very often. I'll guarantee you. This guy right here is one of the few who can pull it off.
And he is putting on a show tonight. He's never played too well against the Washington Redskins in his 3 previous years. Here it is again.
Drew Pearson almost gets the clip. You'll see it right there, but he didn't. And now it just opens up. You see Rafferty out there in front.
What is the statistic on him? I think you guys might have read it. Every time he's gained 100 yards for Dallas, they've won. He's done it 15 times, and they won all 15 games.
So look at that discrepancy, a revealing graphic.
The first down at the 45-yard line of the Redskins.
What?
Movement on the left side. It should be Pat Donovan over there.
He says, wait a minute. What was that call now? Was it Hut 1 or Hut 2?
You've got to remember, Frank, Washington has never lost a Monday night game at home. They're 8-0. But there's a first time for everything.
Well, it's also just 2 minutes and 44 seconds to go to halftime.
Full start. You saw it. Cowboys move back 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down, 15. Ball resting right at midfield.
And with a quick flash there to this carnival atmosphere again.
Lovely green eyes.
Carnival atmosphere. That's what it is.
Dorsett adjusts back into the I formation. Here comes Drew Pearson.
Whoops. I don't think I'm going to go this way. I want to go back over here.
It's Ron Springs, and Ron Springs is really stacked up by Perry Brooks.
I told you, this kid has become a player.
Well, a lot of times when you see so much movement in Dallas's backfield, they expect the defense to respond to it. Sometimes they move too much, and the defense says, heck, I didn't have time to move. And that's kind of what happened that time. Perry Brooks wasn't influenced by that at all.
Where Perry Brooks works, he can't even see it.
Yeah, he said, was somebody moving back there? What was that?
Second down, 15. They may get this play off before the 2-minute warning. Yes, they will. Danny White stands in there. Ball deflected back in the arms of Danny White.
That can only happen on Monday Night Football.
Well, I think he read about Chester Markle yesterday. His attempted field goal was blocked. He picked it up and ran it in for a score.
The year of the unusual.
Of course.
Yeah.
The bizarre.
Actually, you know, when you're a new quarterback coming in to try to place a stallback, you do everything you can to improve your statistics because that's the final line.
Now watch Clive Bacon actually get an arm on him right there.
Well, I got a question. Does he get a reception on this?
He certainly does. I have caught one myself. Danny White is one of the better athletes on that club. He actually has been timed in a 4.55.40. That's pretty swift.
He'll have to be pretty swift because when we come back, they will have the ball 3rd down and 25 at their own 40. Danny White comes back from a conference with Tom Landry, who is wearing a headset, consulting with Danny Reeves, who's up in the press box. That ought to produce something on 3rd down and 25. Danny White, of course, replacing Roger Staubach, whom we will speak with at halftime. He's watching the game in Dallas.
Isn't that it?
And while he's sitting there, I'd just like to thank him for some great years of football. Just watching him. He's special. 3rd and 24. Cowboys, 10-0. 1 minute, 55 seconds remaining here in the first half. Out of the shotgun. And it's complete short of the first down to Drew Pearson at the 43-yard line.
Well, they didn't get there first, but they did get him a little bit closer.
We'll wait to see whether we have the punting unit or the field goal unit. We will see Danny White punting. Raphael Seption, not the longest of kickers.
Well, you know, he's had a good preseason.
Oh, yeah.
Really, I think he's done a lot of, I'm talking about Raphael Seption, he's done an awful lot of off-season work. I think that his leg is a lot stronger than it was a year ago.
I'll tell you the kid who could still kick this, be within range for him, Franklin with the bare foot. At Philadelphia.
They're going to run this down and take a 5-yard penalty, and to use all the time they can. It's not going to affect the punt because Danny White will still be able to move the ball out of bounds if he wants to, or kick the ball high and still keep the Redskins in a hole. So they'll take the 5-yard penalty for delay of game.
The Eagles, that you mentioned Tony Franklin, they're the kind of the consensus pick for the NFC East, and they
delay of game, number 11 offense, still 4th down.
They blame quarterbacks for everything.
Yeah, now he's got a reception and a penalty.
I know it. That is doing it.
The man you're really talking about is Dick Vermeil.
Well, I was really talking about this. They just did a good job.
Browning, I call that man a wonder now.
You're paraphrasing Browning?
Yes, my last Duchess.
I see.
Danny White will punt. You had a quick look at Mike Nelms, a dangerous return man for the Redskins. Look at that punt.
Oh, that's pretty.
He hung it so high.
Wait a minute, that's Clifford. Did you see? That was kind of...
Fair catch called for by Mike Nelms. He lets it go into the end zone. Aaron Mitchell was the man who was upset by Mike Nelms. And it looked a little like
Mitchell was looking back for the ball. He says, I'm going to get it. And about that time, he got drilled by Nelms in the back.
I'll tell you, as high as he kicked that football, Danny White, there should have been more Cowboys down there.
Look at Aaron Mitchell, 34. He says, I know it's up here somewhere. And Nelms says, well, you're not going to get it.
Ah, yes. You learn a lot after a few years in the NFL. One is to keep your eye on the other guy. We'll be back in a moment. Shot of Roger Staubach watching his former teammates perform here in Washington.
Looks old, doesn't it?
No, you look terrific. Roger, what do you think? They're 10 points out in front. Is it a surprise? Tell the truth.
You notice my gray hair. I think the line has done the job. The defensive line have controlled Theismann, and the offensive line has done a good job.
Well, that's good, Roger. We'll come back to him at halftime.
1st and 10, Washington. Inside 1 minute. 52 seconds to be exact. This is Harmon. Over the middle and up defended at the 27-yard line. It'll be a hurry-up offense by the Redskins. Dexter Clinkscale, the rookie from South Carolina State, making the stop on Clarence Harmon.
Roger's right about the defensive line, and you don't run against.
Well, Joey Theismann wanted to get a playoff. He couldn't get his troops lined up. He calls timeout, moves over to visit with Jack Pardee. The Redskins have 2 timeouts remaining. That's our story from RFK Stadium in Washington. Dallas 10, Washington nothing. Field goal by Seption from in close, and Tony Dorsett also scoring from in close. And 2nd and 3. Complete for the first time to Clarence Harmon, but time is the key factor, and the Redskins will take another timeout. Theismann moving over to the sidelines once again. 38 seconds now indicating.
His offensive line didn't know that. They
didn't know it last time. He ought to confer with them a little bit.
Yeah, they ought to talk to one another.
Yeah, you got to get to know that offensive line.
Andy, I got a question for you.
All right, what is it?
Washington has had 13 carries.
Yep.
Gained a total of 16 yards.
13
Their
carries.
longest run, a mere 4 yards on the night.
Are you checking my mathematics to see if I can figure out how much
All right,
they've
divide
averaged?
it up, yeah.
All right, 13 carries. It's just a little bit over a yard per carry. How about that?
In the face of that.
Yep. I wouldn't run a lot against these guys.
No,
I don't
you
think
wouldn't.
If I was out there. I think
And why?
I'd throw those little bit. See, I really think that what Joe is doing, he's coming in there, and maybe he's gotten locked in to certain things that he wanted to try to do in this game. They haven't worked. Oftentimes, you have to get a halftime, come back out, and say, we're going to do this a little bit better. He maybe should try to work on the outside a little bit with swing passes. He's not going to run against these guys.
You know what he ought to do is get a little communication up here.
Yeah.
We got it all
Oh,
worked
man,
out,
we got so many answers.
Not only that, we got Staubach tonight.
Yeah, and we got questions, too. We got questions and answers.
1st and 10 Redskins. The ball at the just short of the 39-yard line of the Redskins. 38 seconds. Down to 1 timeout are the Redskins. Out to the right goes Ricky Thompson. To the left is Art Monk. Theismann feeling the pressure on a 3-man rush, but he fires and it's complete.
That was a good throw.
Guy Brown back there defensively against Clarence Harmon. This time you'll see the hurry offense. Theismann wants to, calling his troops together. Seconds ticking away. Now we have 20 seconds. Theismann.
Oh!
And there is a battle between Aaron Mitchell, number 34, and Buddy Hardeman. And we told you, Aaron Mitchell is physical. He is that. Filling in for an injured Aaron Kyle, who is on the injured reserve list. Time stopped, of course, with the incompletion. There's the end of the play.
Well, number one, you see that Hardeman just had that ball. It bounced up off a shoulder pad. And right now, Mitchell was just a step behind him. But you don't give him anything. Don't give him anything. He'll catch up with you in a hurry.
Interesting call now coming up by Theismann. He has 1 timeout. The Redskins, I know, would like to get Mark Mosley within some sort of reach of a field goal, put something on that scoreboard. They're down 10-0.
The Cowboys brought in their 4th defensive lineman. Oh!
Incomplete over the middle. Stops the clock with 7 seconds. It was Clarence Harmon. He was being defended against by Anthony Dickerson, the rookie free agent from SMU. 7 seconds. What do you do? Hang it up and hope for a penalty, I guess.
Theismann complaining to the official that there was interference, but
Well, you look for any kind of help you can get when you're
back into the 3-man rush now. The Cowboys have Harvey Martin, Randy White, and Ed Jones, rather. Cole having come out. Charlie Waters barking instructions to his young secondary, and they are young. And there is Aaron Mitchell, 2nd-year man. Dexter Clinkscale, 47. Eric Hurd, a rookie, is in there for San Jose State. Here it is. It'll be the last play. Providing there's no penalty. Flag is down. It's complete to Monk, and Monk is inside the 35, and the flag is down back in the Redskins' backfield. It's going to be a holding call, and it's going to be against the Redskins.
Monk gave a little bit of the same thing Aaron Mitchell's been giving out right to Aaron Mitchell. He hit him pretty good.
Time has expired in the first half. It was not a defensive penalty.
Number 74 offense. Half is over.
George Stark was holding again. It was not a defensive penalty, so the half ends. All right, stick around with us. We'll be ready for halftime highlights after this message, and then a word from our local stations. Kenny White warming up at the sideline. Not spectacular, certainly adequate. The real story was Dallas's ability to control the ball game, moving Dorsett and Springs on the ground. Set to kick off. Raphael Septian. Deep is Mike Nelms for the Redskins. But this will not be Nelms. It'll be Ike Forte. And Forte finds an opening and gets into midfield.
Wow.
Beautiful return by Ike Forte, and that could really spark the Redskins down to the 45-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely. That was a burst up the side there. Ike Forte ran right by Raphael Septian, who tried to make a tackle on him.
Frank mentioned in the first half, as we look at it again, how Washington's special teams are unfailingly excellent.
They've got a lot of folks out there in front. Look at Raphael coming. He says, wait a minute. This is not supposed to happen to me. I think I'll try to hitch a ride.
Oh, face mask.
Almost got a face mask. They did.
They did call it. Marked off to the 40.
Personal foul, face mask, number 1 on the run back, first down.
At the 40-yard line, good field position. Forte with a nifty return. He can do a lot of things on a football field, this Ike Forte. Heisman wants these fans. They have not had a lot to cheer about. He wants them to quiet down now. And then first down, Heisman over the middle. And it's Clarence Harmon. Harmon with a gain of about 8, getting close to the 34-yard line.
Oh, he had a collision back in the back, and you've got Theismann down who hurt his right hand, more than likely hit on top of Harvey Martin's helmet. That's Harvey down, too. I don't think that lick on the head knocked him out, but he had a pretty good collision.
Right there, you saw an evidence of how Theismann has grown as a quarterback. He hung in there like Staubach used to. Stayed till the very last minute.
It could have been that a hand got inside that face mask.
That might be what it is, Frank, because it looks like Harvey's holding his eye. At least in his face. It's hard to tell. I think it was a good job of Theismann, Howard.
A lot of courage.
Yeah.
Harvey Martin is being administered to by the medical staff of the Dallas Cowboys. And we return to RFK Stadium. The Redskins will have the ball, 2nd and 4. Harvey Martin has been assisted from the field. We will attempt to get a report as quickly as possible. He's been replaced by Bruce Thornton, number 77, second-year man out of Illinois, used primarily as a pass-rushing defensive lineman a year ago for the Redskins. 2nd down and 4. Handoff, Clarence Harmon. Harmon has the first down, 20 more. Gets down to the 15-yard line, and Ike Forte really set off a spark for the Redskins with that return of the kickoff. Dennis Thurman made the stop defensively for Dallas against Harmon.
Forgive me, Giffer. I don't know if we'll get a chance to see that again, but what a block by the rookie Art Monk to spring Harmon.
Well, let's look and see if again. They didn't waste much time in checking out Thornton on this side. He just replaced. You see, Thornton was cut down on that. I think the move was he bounced to the outside. Aaron Mitchell may have cut his pursuit angle a little bit too close to the inside, and Harmon was able to get outside of it.
But Monk really leveled.
He did.
One guy who could have gotten him. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to him.
You're right.
20-yard pickup by Clarence Harmon. The ball at the 15-yard line. The Redskins with a goose egg on the scoreboard. They'd like to erase that. Theismann goes down at the 24-yard line. Hustling in there, big Ed Jones.
When Forte went off the field, you could see him with his left hand holding his upper chest. Quite apparently, I think, a rib injury.
It appeared to
What
be
they're checking now.
that last play, Theismann had really zeroed in on John McDaniel, and he was trying to work over on the other side. He had him what he thought was an inexperienced sort of fellow, Steve Wilson, and he was working with Wilson on the other side.
Ron Saul comes out at left guard for the Redskins. He'll be a loss if he can't come back. Brett Dean, number 63, comes in. Timeout now called by Joey Theismann. He wants to talk things over with Jack Pardee. That was the first sack by the Cowboys of this game. Timeout. We'll be back in a moment. 2nd down, 20 for the Redskins.
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys, unless you want them to have a lot of fun.
Festive mood prevails. 2nd down and 18. Buddy Hardiman gets the call from Joe Theismann, turns over the right side, and nailed as he gets about a yard and a half. Defensively, Ed Jones moving out, and Ed Jones is really playing fine football. He's not the one you expect to get the sack. In Tom Landry's defense, he is there to stop the run. And yet he got the only sack thus far of this ball game a few moments ago, put Theismann back in deep yardage.
They haven't been going his way much, Frank. The reason why we haven't said his name a lot tonight They must have been watching some of those preseason films of him. He's had an excellent preseason.
Third down, 17. Ball at the 22-yard line. 3 wide receivers in now for the Redskins. Pressure again. Over the middle, Buddy Hardiman. And Hardiman, short of the first down, gets down to about the 11-yard line. Hit there by Eric Hurt. Eric Hurt, the young rookie from San Jose State.
But that's a good call. You know it, Don. You don't expect to get all that yardage on that play. Harvey Martin, we've had a report, banged into his own man, Larry Cole. And that's what caused that bump on the forehead.
You know, I don't know for sure. I know Harvey wears glasses. I don't know whether he wears contacts or not. But if he does, that might have been one of the things. Those contacts can sometimes cause you some problems.
Joe Theismann will hold for Mark Mosley on 4th down. 29-yard field goal attempt, or apparently a field goal attempt. Up, and it's no good. This time off to the right, so Mark Mosley has missed twice tonight.
Unbelievable. Mosley, normally one of the most consistent place kickers in football.
Tell you, he was 15 out of 16 a year ago inside the 40.
We were talking about Too Tall Jones again. Now, it's a good set. Ball is turned real well. He knows right now that thing is off. But you don't know what was in his head before he got back there. One of them might have been Too Tall Jones.
11:31 remaining in the third quarter. The Cowboys maintain their 10-0 advantage. So Mark Mosley has missed from 29 yards out. The Cowboys have the football, their own 20-yard line. They have a 10-0 lead. Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith were in the third quarter with 11:31 remaining. On Springs, Tony Dorsett, and Dorsett gets the flip.
Oh, boy.
And he just explodes down that sidelines. Lavender takes him out of bounds, but he's close to a first down, maybe short by a half a yard.
You know, Frank.
And Tony Dorsett is taking himself out of the game. He's had a very sore thigh muscle, but this looks as though it might be a hamstring problem.
We'll find out as quickly as we can. We'll have a report for you.
I don't know that we can see it, but let's see what did. They left him wide open out there. I don't see anything that, maybe just a muscle sprain or something like that.
Second down, less than a yard. This is James Jones, who has come in for Dorsett. He's a rookie. We've seen him on the special teams. He's from Mississippi State. In preseason, he gained 74 yards, impressed Tom Landry, beat out Larry Brinson for the job behind Dorsett.
Ever been to Mississippi State in Starkville, Frank?
No, I haven't.
I spent a long time. No, I think I passed through there one time, but I didn't stay.
I went there.
You did? What'd you do down there?
Officer Candidate School, World War II.
Jones.
Protect the grateful nation.
Jones stays in. Dorsett you saw on the bench. Drew Pearson doubles back on the 1st and 10. This is Jones. And Jones finds a little opening, gets out over the 35 to the 37, a gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3. Carl Lorch and Monty Coleman made the stop.
When Dorsett gains 100 yards or more, the Cowboys are 15-0.
That's a pretty graphic. I actually thought it was 15-1. I thought there's one time that he did it that they didn't, but I wouldn't ever argue with our
It could happen against Pittsburgh.
Well, he has 68 yards thus far on the night. Meanwhile, on the field, second down, a long 3. Ooh, and a mix-up in the backfield, but this is Billy Joe Dupree. And he just pulls his way to a first down, and he won't go down. Out to the 45-yard line. Billy Joe Dupree doing it on his own, finally taken by Pete Wysocki.
He is a great tight end.
That was a
mix-up. And in the mold of the great big tight ends these days. Let's look at the...
What worries you here, Danny? Look at that mix-up in the backfield by Jones. They have a rookie in there, Jones, 23, a second-year man in Springs.
It's one of the things that quarterbacks always are very cautious of when you have rookie running backs in the backfield. When you turn around, you're going to take a quick look and make sure they know where they're going.
They'll realign your profile. The 1st and 10 is at the 45-yard line. Springs gets the call, and up from the safety spot, Kenny Houston. He reads the plays so well.
Point is, Frank, we talk so much about Russ Francis and Dave Casper. People like them. Dupree certainly ranks right up there with them.
He does the job that Landry likes the tight end to do in the offense.
You know, he does.
Tremendous blocker.
They've also got Jay Saldy and Doug Cosby, who are three. I don't think anybody's got three better tight ends than
No, nobody has that kind of depth.
Second down and 10.
At the position.
White gets out of the sack of Coy Bacon and gets it to Drew Pearson, who bobbles the ball. It's incomplete.
Drew Pearson has not caught a pass tonight.
Now, Roger, you're sitting there, and you got to feel good about White on that. Apparently sacked, spinning out of it, keeping his perception downfield and hitting Drew Pearson, who should have caught it.
As I said, he's only caught 2 passes tonight. Wasn't that what I said? He really was. Rogers, one of the guys that first told me what a great athlete Danny White is, because I really didn't know much about Danny, but he says, man, you don't know what I've been working with all these years. He said, I've got a guy who's right behind me who can really play. And that's
He comes by naturally. His father was a great All-American out of Arizona State. White played with the Bears later on. Meanwhile, out of the shotgun, Danny White looks over a third down and 10. The ball just inside his own 45-yard line. And it was deflected. It was intended for Butch Johnson. Tony Peters knocked it away. That'll bring up 4th down, and Danny White will stay on with the punting unit for Dallas.
To show you how Dallas has adhered basically to game plan is their play selection on the night. 26 rushes, 14 passes. Finals in the National League. Well, let's put them away very quickly.
Mike Nelms goes deep for Washington. Danny White will punt. Here's Nelms. He led the CFL in punting last year. He was in Ottawa.
good kick.
He'll let it bound into the end zone. And Washington will take the ball on the 20 following the touchback. And you understand now why Danny White is the punter for Dallas as well as the quarterback. That one good for 56 yards. We'll be right back.
Updating the American League pennant race in the East. American League, Baltimore on its way to winning a doubleheader. The Yankees rallied to win 7-4 with 4 in the ninth. If Baltimore wins the second, they'll trail by 4.
Washington up over the ball. First and 10, the ball at the 20-yard line. They remain scoreless. Dallas leads by 10. Always on first down, and he goes out to John McDaniel. Complete. First down, Washington.
Frank, remember the first time McDaniel had been with Cincinnati, had been but rarely played. We had that game against the Rams, and McDaniel went crazy.
I think it was Oakland.
Upset the Rams. What?
Was it Oakland? They had 9 receptions that night for us, so it was really a wild performance.
I thought it was against the Rams.
Could well be.
That's one of those.
In fact, I'd bet it on it if you'd say it.
That's one of those West Coast teams.
Handoff is Buddy Hardiman over the right side. And Hardiman gets a couple of difficult yards. It'll be second down and 8.
Pretty good group and stopped it. That's Bruning, Waters, Too Tall, and Heckman on the outside. All 4 of them came in there. He's not going to go too far.
Washington, they penetrated to the Dallas Cowboys 12-yard line in their opening drive following a tremendous return of a Dallas kickoff to begin the second half. They were sacked, and Mark Mosley, uncharacteristically, missed a 29-yard field goal. Second down and 10. Art Muck, the rookie #1 draft pick, bottom of your screen. Play action by Theismann. Clarence Harmon.
Good tackle.
Good tackle.
D.D. Lewis.
Terrific tackle by D.D.
Mr. Consistency, they call him. He always does it right, and shaking up is Clarence Harmon for the Redskins.
He came in there with the outside, had one shot at him, took it, got him right around the ankles, and he went down. You know, D.D. Lewis and Larry Cole were the only 2 guys left off of that team. That's Harmon that's down.
Harmon is best as an alternate backup to John Riggins, who clearly the Redskins miss desperately tonight. So we'll be back in a moment.
Clarence Harmon is still being assisted out on the field. He was shaken up, the tackle by D.D. Lewis. Just to remind you, Thursday night, of course, we'll be bringing you a special Thursday night telecast from Tampa Bay. The Rams in Tampa Bay, but preceding that, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock Eastern time will be Monday Night Football Fever, a decade of the NFL. We taped that over the past week and looked at some of those tape clips, and you forget so many of the humorous things, so many of the entertaining things that have happened over the past 10 years. So take a look. It was fun.
Remember the guy on the tightrope in Buffalo?
Never forget him. Remember the fan in the Astrodome in Houston. Clarence Harmon is up. Apparently just the wind knocked from him. He was upended by D.D. Lewis on a shoestring tackle. He appears to be fine. He picked up 3 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 7. Ball at the 34-yard line. 7:03 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Cowboys on top 10-0. Robert Jackson, number 40, has replaced Harmon. Buddy Hardiman, number 22, stays on. Theismann. Good throw. Out of a crowd, and the ball should have been caught. It was not. Ron McDaniel did not hold on.
But it was Aaron Mitchell who hit him, and all night long we've emphasized the way Mitchell hits.
He does get hit, but what we don't see on this particular replay is that Theismann did stay in there in that pocket and throw the ball. He hits him right in the numbers. Blap. Now, you got to hold on to those things, but you do have Mitchell around that ball, and something's going to happen.
On 4th down, Mike Connell, who has had a rough night punting for the Redskins, is back in. Jones is deep for Dallas. This time, Connell turns it over. It's high, and Jones will take it without the fair catch. And he gets back out over the 35 to the 36.
A risky proposition at that point.
I was thinking when I saw Jones receive the opening kickoff, here's a rookie coming in with the Dallas Cowboys, and Redskins going to kick off to him. He's back there. I says, man, if you're going to ever fumble, that was justified. He's handled the ball several times tonight. Did fumble one a little bit, but recovered.
I started to tell you a moment ago, Tony Dorsett was on the sidelines. The report was that he had leg cramps. He's back in the game. He has 68 yards thus far on the night. But he can reverse that very quickly. Dallas at their own 36. Pearson in motion. Dorsett has the move to the outside, and Monty Coleman, whom we talked about extensively in the first half, with that great speed, was there.
You watch this kid throughout this season. He's going to come into total stardom. What he is an athlete of the Tom Hollywood Henderson ilk, and maybe even better, and that's saying something, because regardless of Henderson's shenanigans, he's one of the best athletes, an all-around athlete who ever came to the Cowboys.
Dorsett going back out of the game again. Jones, 23, comes in. No, he goes back out. So we have 3 receivers in. Butch Johnson, the other wide receiver, number 86. This is Ron Springs. And Springs goes down. Is Carl Lorch.
Oh, yeah. He got on the inside, moved in there and got it.
We're going to quickly pause 5 seconds. However quickly you can pause for 5 seconds for our local stations to identify themselves. Stadium overflowing tonight. The fans of the Washington Redskins anticipating this game all year long. They don't like Dallas here in Washington. Dallas controlled the ball in the first half. Dorsett moved in from 6 yards out to initiate the scoring, and then Raphael stepped beyond, added 3 from in close. Washington unable to move the ball on the ground, having a difficult time against the weak Dallas secondary. Danny White, 3rd down, 15, intercepted. Monty Coleman.
There's your Monty Coleman again.
Monty Coleman turns it over, and the Redskins have the football at Dallas's 25-yard line. And that's what the Redskins have done so many times over the years. They lead the NFL. They have led it for the last 2 years in what they call giveaway, takeaway. This is one of them.
It was thrown behind the receiver. Monty Coleman did make a good move to intercept it, but the ball, once again, was thrown behind it. We'll see again. This is a 3rd down in a long situation. It's a tough place to be in. The ball had a little wobble to it. He was trying to get it to, I think it was Thrill Hill, but Monty Coleman was the guy that stepped in there and picked it off.
He runs like a halfback.
1st and 10. Clarence Harmon back in the lineup, so we know he's all right. On 1st down, Theismann again. Almost.
Charlie Waters.
Well, it was picked off. Charlie Waters one-hands it.
Well, I think that ties him with Cornell Green.
Charlie Waters makes a big play near the goal line, picking off a pass that could have been 6 had it got to John McDaniels. He was behind the defense.
It certainly looked it, but Waters showed what the years have done for him.
The main thing about Charlie, Howard Frank, is that he really is the quarterback back there. Had good pressure from Brunig. The ball was laid up a little bit. You see a one-hand interception, but there's no question that McDaniels had his man beat. Water was right there, filled up that center field thing. He says, I picked it off. Charlie's had his knee operations we've talked about, and I think he will be the first to admit. He says, wait a minute, I've got to find out if I can really play on this knee. Evidently he can.
Well, the defending NFC Eastern champion Cowboys turn it over again. Back-to-back interceptions. Danny White. Intended for Drew Pearson, well over the arms of Drew Pearson.
Let's take a look at Charlie. There he is. He's happy and justifiably so. Football is like every other sport. It's a game of mistakes, missed opportunities. Washington typifies that tonight. 2 missed field goals that Mark Mosley would normally make. 145 yards out, 129 out. And the failure to capitalize on that last interception by Coleman. Failure created by Waters' great interception.
2nd down and 10. Tony Hill flipped to the right by Danny White. The toss goes to the rookie Jones. And James Jones out to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Again, a reminder, college football coming your way this Saturday. It'll be Pittsburgh against Boston College. Many think that the Pittsburgh Panthers can move to a national championship. In other games, Michigan State at Illinois, North Carolina at Texas Tech, San Jose State at Washington State, San Diego State at BYU, Florida A&M at Miami of Florida. Check your local listings for the time and the game you'll see in your area. NCAA college football. 3rd down and 5, 3:56, and the clock is moving here in the 3rd quarter. Dallas on top, 10-0. Springs is in motion. White out of the shotgun. White throws the ball behind Springs. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down. Danny White is not throwing the ball well tonight.
A little tentative, which I assume could be expected, but he just came off of a rather disastrous 3 interceptions at Pittsburgh. In talking with Danny prior to this game, he says, you know, I'm not really making excuses, but as possibly you know, a lot of those were on blitzes, and my receivers didn't pick up the right coverage. Tonight, he has thrown a couple of interceptions that I think basically are his.
You had a quick look at Mike Nelms for the Redskins. At his own 21, this is Danny White. Beautiful punt. Takes Nelms back to his 17. Nelms trying to pick up the picket line.
He's got a little bit of it.
And dances out close to the 25-yard line.
Kid's a good-looking ball player.
He is.
Tabella had 3 years up in Canada with Ottawa and now down here.
It's cut by Buffalo back in '77, as a matter of fact. Bobby Betther.
I'm surprised we haven't really seen Ricky Klatt, the free agent from Bethune-Cookman.
Wait a minute, we have
bringing this back. I don't see a flag on the field, but they are bringing the ball back.
I don't see it either, but I see the Dallas.
And Washington wants Dallas to punt over, so obviously the penalty is against Dallas.
Legal man downfield.
Ineligible, number 86 downfield on the kick. Re-kick, 4th down.
Rich Johnson.
Kid Klatt from Bethune-Cookman, your favorite school.
Yes, Bethune-Cookman, you're right.
Detroit trying to fight back in that 2nd game. 8-4 now, 6th inning. They've gone 6.
Well, Danny White, who had a booming punt a few moments ago, now will station himself close to his 15-yard line. Nelms has moved up to about his 28-yard line. And the ball goes out of bounds.
They did a lot better.
Out at the 37-yard line.
Picked up a few yards, yeah.
About 12
yards. The Redskins need to get something happening. They had a great opportunity at the very beginning of the second half. They got to the 12-yard line, couldn't get it in, and Mosley couldn't hit from 29 yards out, so they remained scoreless.
We just looked at Tom Landry pacing the sidelines. Up to this moment, he's got to be pretty happy, facing a year of challenge this year.
First and 10 Washington, their own 37-yard line. Theismann again on first down. This is Ricky Thompson, and he comes up with the football, and they say incomplete.
Well, I think they got it. They just killed the cock. I think they're going to give him that, aren't they, Frank? He made a good move.
Aaron Mitchell was right with him, but Aaron Mitchell was playing him rather than the ball.
How many times have you seen the ball slightly underthrown and the receiver adjust to it quicker than the defensive back? He certainly has an advantage. He's looking back on his shoulder, running one way. But Ricky made a good move. It is a completion, first down.
Oh, just short of the 45-yard line of the Cowboys. Clarence Harmon, again, doing business on the left side. Gain him about 5 to the 40-yard line. Bob Bruning over there to make the stop. And we're going to tell you this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
I remember that used to be my job.
I'll give it to you next time around.
All right, thank you.
Disclaimers.
I like those disclaimers. I like to do that.
They mark it inside the 40, so it'll be second down and 4. Clarence Harmon, right side, cuts back, inside Charlie Waters, gets the first down, inside the 35.
They did a good job that time kicking Charlie Waters out, holding too tall in.
Having missed 3 earlier opportunities, now they're down scoring position, engineering a decent drive. From their point of view, the Redskins must not blow this opportunity.
And they're still only 10 points back.
That's right. Plenty of time left. That's the whole point. No need to rush.
And after you've watched these two teams for so many years, you just are sitting here waiting for the fireworks to explode. It's almost as if you know it's going to happen. First down. Flies into the air once again.
That's Harvey Martin back in there.
Firing into the end zone, intended for Thompson, and there is a battle for the football. It's incomplete.
Almost picked off and almost completed. Ricky Thompson gave him good battle down there. That's Steve Wilson, number 45, who was covering it. All right, here's Ricky Thompson. You see Steve Wilson right there. He doesn't want to interfere with him. Again, the ball is slightly underthrown. Wilson's coming back to defend for it. There's a little pushing and shoving in there. That's all fair.
Well, he made a good defensive play. He was playing the ball.
Yep.
And he was right there with his man. And you consider he was a wide receiver a year ago, running back punts and kickoffs. Benny Barnes, of course, went down out of the lineup with an appendectomy this morning. So Wilson's in there at cornerback. Second down and 10. Flag is down as Theismann fires complete to Buddy Hardiman. And holding, and it's going to work against Washington.
Here they go again, failing to capitalize.
They give us a chance, too. Talk a little bit about the left side of that Cowboys defense. Ed Jones, of course, is back, but remember a year ago when they gave up a number 1 and 2 draft pick?
Yeah, John Dutton, who's not in the starting lineup. Seems
73 offense, holding, still second down.
Jeff Williams holding, probably against Larry Cole, who is in there where John Dutton is expected to take over someday.
he is seeing scant action. Dutton is.
You can see that is Larry Cole, 63, trying to move out. There's a left arm wrapped around him a little bit too much. They look like they're doing a little shuffle to the right and a shuffle to the left. A 1-2, 1-2.
Second down and 20 is Clarence Harmon with a big opening. Gets back to the inside and gets about 7 down at the 37-yard line. It'll be third down and 13.
Harvey Martin's primarily an outside rusher. He went to the outside that time. They kicked him out, went on the inside.
That's a good call. You can't get that kind of yardage back in one throw. The ball that was almost picked off, I thought, was an ill-advised call. This had the element of surprise to the rush, and it was probably their longest gain of the night on the run, or close to it.
Now, they had a 20-yarder a while ago, but you're right. It's not a bad call because they're way back there. Second and a whole bunch. They still got third and about 12-14.
Ball at the 38-yard line. Heisman. He'll have some time as he picks up blockers.
Don't get too tall. Cover that ground.
Heisman fires to Art Monk. Monk struggles to get yardage for the first down, coming up short at the 27. Charlie Waters makes the stop on Art Monk.
For the 30 seconds the play took, I thought I was watching Sir Francis.
Sir Francis. Well, Sir Howard, he was not there. That was Joe Theismann. You know, I was reading a thing. You got Tony. Well, that thing just keep clicking down. What are they doing there?
Field goal unit is on the field. And they will not get the field goal attempt off before the third quarter expires. And there it is. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports. That's the end of the third quarter with the score Dallas 10, Washington nothing. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in just a moment. We begin the fourth quarter. The Redskins have the football. It's 4th down and 4 at the 28-yard line. Mosley is on for another field goal attempt. He has missed from the 45 and the 29. This will be an attempt of 45 yards. Play looking good. The Redskins are on the scoreboard. They trail by 7. Mark Mosley, and I'll bet the butterflies were churning in his stomach after missing that short one. At the beginning of the third quarter, Mark Mosley missed from 29 yards out.
Yeah, that's got to make him feel a little bit better. You know, if he had kicked those other two, we'd have had ourselves a heck of a ball game. We're still right in the middle of it, only 7.
Not a bad game. They're back in it. Now, there are the third quarter statistics. First downs have become even. The yards rushing is still predominantly Dallas. Yards passing, Theismann dominant there. Total yardage almost even. Time of possession now almost even. And that's the key. What Dallas has to do now is go back to where they were in the first quarter and in the first half. Maintaining possession and using the clock. Hardman has a foot problem now being checked.
Here is Mosley set to kick off. Dallas drops the rookie, James Jones from Mississippi State. Back to about his 2-yard line. Mosley doesn't kick the ball all that deep. He just kicks it very high. And another high kick that brings Jones up to his 10-yard line.
Oh, got some running room.
James Jones takes it out over the 40-yard line for Dallas. Ricky Clapp takes him out of bounds there, but Dallas has good field position once again.
What a big play that was for Dallas. Quickly now in good field position, they can reestablish the very possession and control game they want. Now in Major League Baseball, in the National League, Bills beat the Bucks, who are faltering terribly. Bills now lead the Bucks by 2. Cincinnati over Atlanta. Atlanta's been one of the hottest teams in baseball. Chicago 6 over St. Louis is 2.
32-yard return by Jones. Danny White looks it over. The ball inside his 42-yard line. White looking to screen. Gets it to Springs. Is set up beautifully.
Boy, it looked like to me he had a couple of linemen downfield.
Springs almost turned back and lost the first down. There were no flags down. Lamar Parrish made the stop. The ball at the 47-yard line of the Redskins.
It's a rather slow developing screen. It looked to me that Fitzgerald and maybe Scott had gotten downfield, but evidently they hadn't.
Nope.
Here we'll take another quick look. A little low angle shot of this thing. You again see Denny kind of setting up. He had a flare out to his right, but Springs over here to his left. And now you're going to see those offensive linemen picking up some blocks. That's the move that Frank was referring to. He almost lost his first down, but he didn't.
First and 10, 47-yard line of the Redskins. Ron Springs runs away from one Redskin, but is piled up at the line of scrimmage. Defensively, Wysocki was there, along with Coleman. Harry Brooks, number 69.
Tell you, that kid Coleman has given us some game, Frank.
Oh, he is something.
And nobody going home now. It's still a full house, 10-3. We've got ourselves almost a full quarter to play.
I'll tell you, he didn't start tonight. Coleman didn't start, but Brad Dusick is not a bad linebacker himself. It's going to be a tough decision as to who the linebackers for the Redskins are going to be this season. Second down and 10. Jones. And Jones to the 40-yard line. Gain of 7. It'll be 3rd and 3, upended by Wysocki.
He's quick. That Jones came in there. You wonder if that Larry Brinson, that Scott Laidlaw, that were veterans, and they did not make the team. Jones comes in. Newsom comes in. Rookies. A couple of rookie running backs.
They like him for a couple of reasons. Jones, I'm speaking of. They brought him in really as a kick return man. He returned kick for Mississippi State, as a matter of fact, a year ago. He returned one for a touchdown against Maryland at 92 yards, and you saw a moment ago he gave Dallas good field position on the kickoff. Danny White looking over 3rd and 3. This is Ron Springs, inside handoff, and on his own getting the first down down close to the 35.
That's a real compliment. That's a compliment to your offensive line. You're sitting there on a long 3rd and 3, maybe if anything 3.5. And he said, look, I'm not going to the air. I'm going to come back in. We're going to try to do a little inside trap. Ron Springs, get me 3.5 yards.
Yeah, but that guy pumps those legs.
Yeah, he does.
Drives.
Yeah, he does. But, you know, I think really in the Dallas's philosophy, you get in that 3.5, 4-yard zone, it doesn't really pay off that much. 3rd down yardage, that's, I think, a compliment to the offensive line.
1st and 10, 35-yard line. Seconds ticking away here in the 4th quarter. Redskins down by 7. Drew Pearson in motion. Inside handoff, Springs again, breaks a tackle and breaks another one, and look at him inside the 30.
That was Kenny Houston that came in from his safety position.
You break Kenny Houston, you're breaking one of the best. I'll tell you right now that you get 5 yards that way when not a single yard was really there. That's a great run, even though it only gained 5 yards.
Well, Washington plays a lot of defensive coverages, and some of the, why Kenny made a tackle earlier in the game 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he's a safety man. But they key on different offensive players over there. That time he keyed, came into the backfield, and missed the tackle.
2nd down and 4. Jones back into the eye and puts the handoff, turns over the right side, and short of the first down to about the 27. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Monty Coleman.
Coleman in
again
there
on the stop,
again.
along with Coy Bacon.
3 young linebackers. Malott, the youngster from Maryland, and there they are. Olkowitz, Malott, and Coleman. 3 brilliant pickups for the Redskins, and that's why Frank said, as good as Dusick is, and Wysocki, the veteran, you'll be seeing more and more of those kids.
2 free agents and an 11th round draft pick.
All right, here we go. Right here, good one. As they say,
has used 4 minutes on this drive. They have a 3rd and 2. Springs.
Oh, yeah.
He is a beauty.
They have a first down inside the 20 at the 19-yard line. Terry Brooks sliding out there to make the stop. But this takes the heart out of the defense. And particularly a moment ago when they had a long 3 yards, they did not go to the air. They gave the ball to Springs. And behind that surging offensive line, they got the first down. That takes a lot out of the defensive unit.
And it can take Washington pretty much out of the game, though there's still a lot of time left, 9:40, because Dallas already in good field goal position.
Springs will get a breather. He was shaken up a little bit. Robert Newhouse comes into the game. Springs leaves with 44 tough yards on the night.
And Newhouse is no slouch at all. He's been here 9 years. Very consistent ball carrier.
Gets the call immediately. And Newhouse revolves down to the 12-yard line, where Monty Coleman takes him there.
Cowboys call those kind of plays an influence play. You see a little crossing action in the backfield. They'll have an influence up in that offensive line. And it's something to be said for those fresh legs that they just brought in there.
Exactly.
Newhouse.
Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4.
Newhouse is a very functional player.
I've heard you speak of him before, and functional is certainly one of the words that you've used to describe him, and I would agree he's at least functional.
He's got sticky fingers. He's only fumbled the ball 7 times in 560 carries.
You gotta like that.
Hillhouse again.
I think he got him a first down, or he got it
very close at the 10.
Close, yeah. Maybe not quite.
And the big thing is the seconds continue to tick away. Dallas using the clock, and I'm sure they came in with that strategy. If we can move it on the ground, we can keep that Washington offense away from a defense that is really hurting, at least in the secondary, although they have not shown it tonight.
To see Newhouse go out, and it's an old cliche in football, but he really is a genuine team player. He says, I've been here 9 years, and I'm going to do everything I can to help the team.
Springs, of course, back in. 3 tight ends. Dupre, Saldi, Cosby. Jones gets the call. He has the first down.
Oh, that was a beauty, too.
The kid's got some moves, hasn't he?
Really fought for that.
Hey, Tom Landry has got to be pleased with what he's seen tonight from his youngsters. He's got 9 rookies on this football team. All of them have been in action tonight.
Yep, there he is. He's got his Save the Hostage button on, that's Tom. He's also a new grandpappy. Got him a new grandbaby boy, I believe.
He's got a very sore knee from jogging.
Yeah.
And he just told Tony Hill what he wanted.
First and goal, the ball at the 9-yard line. Tony Hill, 80, Drew Pearson, 88, both placed to the left. Jones, right side, and they continue to...
They're going right, aren't they?
Over the right side.
Going right.
Slithers through.
Inside the 5.
Cooper, Big Jim Cooper is the guy. He's the newest addition, really, on a regular basis. And they've had several folks. Andre Frederick is in there. He's a good backup. They also got a good rookie. It's Kurt Peterson, if we haven't seen much of tonight. Another one of those guys. There's Jones. That Jones is looking good.
That's the kid who set up the whole drive with his brilliant kickoff return.
Cowboys have used over 8 minutes on this drive. They bring the short yardage offense in. Out goes Pearson and Hill. That means the 3 tight ends are in. That's Saldi. Springs.
Touchdown right straight there. Very good play. One you don't see a lot. They bring that Saldi from they came in. He's like a lead blocker. They bring Saldi in on that little play. All right. Behind the goal, let's take another look at it. I believe it's Jay Saldi comes through, but Jay comes from a little wing position. Number 87, you see him lead Springs right through. Comes on the inside. That was Pat Donovan, number 67. That was kind of getting in some of the way, the folks, and then he's going to just fall over there. Touchdown.
Very impressive performance by these young people. Dallas beautifully coached, as all Landry teams are.
Raphael Seption for the conversion. Dallas stretches their lead over the Washington Redskins. More importantly, they took over 8 minutes off the clock. We'll be back at RFK Stadium in a moment. Raphael Seption will tee it up at the 35-yard line. Deep for Washington, Mike Nelms. If you're wondering about Tony Dorsett, we checked for you. He still has a problem with leg cramps. Seption puts it to the 3-yard line. This will be Mike Nelms. And Nelms hustles out over the 20. And Washington now will take the field. They are down 17-3. More of your carnival atmosphere.
Back to the carnival.
Not bad. Springs responsible for much of the yardage on that drive that took up over 8 minutes. They mark it at the 22-yard line. Theismann has consistently gone with the pass on first down. I see no reason for him to change that. Up in the air, and Theismann tried to knock it away. Didn't have to. It's incomplete.
That was a good move by Theismann because it really could have been intercepted. He says, I'm not going to do a Danny White catch my own pass, but I'm going to knock him away. I didn't see who hit it. Let's see if we can see it again here. You've got... That's too tall. I should have guessed. That's too tall. Knocked way over there. Those oftentimes do get picked up. see Theismann come across the other side. You know, we had a little bit of publicity on when Tony Dorsett changed his name from Dorset to Dorsett. This guy hasn't always been Joe Theismann. He was Joe Theismann down in Notre Dame until they says we're going Theismann for the Heisman. Little tribute.
Second down and 10. Screen to the flanker. It's Thompson. And down goes Thompson. Charlie Waters is there, but the main man was Higman. It'll be third down and 10.
Yeah, those guys saying, now, wait a minute, fellas. Coy Bacon said, now, wait a minute. I'm getting back there so fast, I have to tell the quarterback where to set up.
But reflectively, you've got to respect what Landry has done with this team, because his team has shown the capacity to play the way it wanted to play and had to play it when it had to do it. That last drive, a thing of beauty, like Lombardi's teams in 61 and 62.
Third and 10. Theismann. Monk struggling forward, close to the first down. Out near the 33-yard line. Steve Wilson defensively there for Dallas. It is a first down.
And they didn't do it against a team of chumps. Washington is a good football team.
That's true.
There is the man, dapper, impeccable.
Yeah, Ernie Stoddard, Gene Stallings, Jim Myers, his coaching staff there. All those guys really do work well together. I think the key to any organization is, you know, Tom obviously is at the top of that pyramid, but he's got a lot of really talented guys that are involved with that organization that do a good job.
The Redskins bring in their rookie running back from the 35, Ricky Clapp. From Bethune-Cookman, but Buddy Hardeman gets the call, and Hardeman out to about the 35-yard line.
Ball was dead.
That was old Big Too Tall's arm reached out over that foul, so give me that ball.
Too Tall Jones, 6'9", 260 pounds.
He never got a chance to fight Roberto Duran, did he?
No.
Did you see any of his fights, Howard?
I saw two of them, unfortunately.
Well, we'll pursue that no further.
E. Jones.
He might pursue us. Second down and 8. Clarence Harmon comes back in. The rookie Clapp goes out. Theismann wants a bundle of it. And John McDaniel was saying that he was interfered with.
Yeah.
And he gets a smile from the official, and that's all.
Yeah. And the referee says, yeah, you maybe have been, but you also were about 10 yards short of getting there.
There is Wilson in front of McDaniel.
And Daniel says, I'm not going to run for that one. That's overthrown anyway, so I'm going to see if I can negotiate an interference call.
Which he fails to do, so it'll be third down and 8. The ball back at the 35-yard line. 4:05 remaining in the game, 17-3. The Cowboys leading the Washington Redskins. Reminding you again, Thursday night. It'll be Tampa Bay and Los Angeles.
Says, I'm not going to run for that one. That's overthrown anyway, so I'm going to see if I can negotiate an interference call.
Which he fails to do, so it'll be third down and 8. The ball back at the 35-yard line. 4:05 remaining in the game, 17-3. The Cowboys leading the Washington Redskins. Reminding you again, Thursday night. It'll be Tampa Bay and Los Angeles, and we'll be there. Theismann. Complete. Harmon has the first down up to the 44-yard line.
Good throw.
Defensively, Tony Dickerson, the rookie from SMU, is there for Dallas. Dickerson actually played some Canadian football, but he missed all of the '79 season before coming in as a free agent this year for Dallas.
Looking back, Gipper, I'm still mystified by Washington's game plan in the first half when they insisted on running, which is so hard to do against Dallas, and trying to run without John Riggins.
John Dutton comes in defensively now for Dallas. He is at left tackle on 1st and 10. Theismann puts it up, incomplete. It was intended for Art Monk.
A little bit high.
We can get our director, Chet Forty, to focus in on John Dutton. He's had a problem moving from defensive end to defensive tackle. And more than that, he was a 3-time All-Pro Bowler for the Baltimore Colts before going to Dallas last year, but he played defensive right end. Dallas moved him over to replace Ed Jones. And in the complicated moves that Landry expects on defense, he just really didn't adjust to it. He's in there now, number 78, left tackle for Dallas. Second down and 10. Almost picked off. Intended for Clapp. The flag goes down. Flag is down in an area that usually generates a holding call.
Once again, you're right, Shake. Sometimes Shake amazes me, you know what I mean? Yeah, that was good.
You're getting hot.
Yeah.
3:14 on the clock. You have always amazed me.
Yeah.
That's a good point you made about John Dutton. We extolled Gil Brandt early in the game, and he deserved it.
73 offense, holding, still second down.
Jeff Williams having a big night for Washington in the holding department.
Gil has faced criticism in Dallas because of the Dutton trade, giving away 2 top draft choices.
Yeah, it's so unlike Dallas to do that. They, historically have been a team that said we're going to build through the draft.
Homegrown.
Homegrown folks.
I might be criticizing him for that, but his next 5 picks made the team. Second down and 20.
Once again, Shake, you're amazing. Look out.
Oh, and into the crowd, almost picked off by Wilson. Intended for Du Bois. Harvey Martin putting the pressure on Joe Theismann.
You didn't find my story about Theismann interesting at all when he used to be Thiesman? And he came in
to Theismann, so it would rival with Heisman.
And they had bumper stickers, Theismann for Heisman.
And who was it that he was runner-up to for the Heisman Award?
Glad you asked. Jim Plunkett.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I knew all that.
And who drafted him in the NFL?
Had it all set.
Miami drafted him in the NFL, and he goes to Canada, and he took Toronto, I believe it was, to the Grey Cup for the first time since 1952.
You amaze me.
Yeah, well, I made a lot of that up.
Third down, 20. Over the middle, this complete to Buddy Hardeman. Hardeman stretches out. Is over the 45-yard line. It'll be fourth down at about 8, and a flag is down. So we're going to have another holding call. We'll go against the Redskins once again.
This is the time of the game that everybody's getting tired, and you're going to have more holding calls because they're just tired of sitting there trying to get that basic football, fundamental football position, they call it. And then they start holding a little bit.
Again, the call.
That's what happens?
Yeah, oftentimes.
75 offense, holding, third down.
Now they're spreading the holding around. This is Terry Hermeling over the left side. I mentioned the Tampa Bay game and the Los Angeles game coming up Thursday night. How about this?
Got a big special there.
Big special. Monday Night Football fever. 10 years. This tonight, the advent of our 11th year of Monday Night Football.
Third and 30. Not an enviable spot for a quarterback against Dallas. Completes it to Harmon. Good pass by Theismann, and Harmon carries it out to the 43 before being upended by Clinkscale, the rookie from South Carolina State.
The host of that show, by the way, Giffer, an old friend who played center for Florida State, undersized at the position. The guy who looks so suspiciously like Rocky Blyer, whom he plays in the forthcoming ABC movie, Fighting Back, and of course, the star of ABC's hit show Vegas, a fellow named Robert Urich. I remember him well.
Whatever happened to him, Howard?
He just happens to be in the studio.
I love it. The antenna.
The booth is our studio, Robert. Back to the action, Gip.
It's fourth down and 12 for the Redskins. A little more than 2 minutes remaining in the game. Buddy Hardeman drops the football, incomplete. Dallas will take over at the Redskins' 43-yard line.
It's Clinkscale again over there. Not bad for a rookie defensive back. He hasn't been far off all night.
Clinkscale, who of course fills in as the fifth man, and we look at a live shot of Roger Staubach staying up late in Dallas watching the action. 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in this football game. The Dallas Cowboys are commanding 17-3 lead over the Washington Redskins. Danny White comes back out. Jones adjusts back into the I formation. And Jones takes the football and somehow or other squeaks 3 or 4 yards out of it down to the 39-yard line. And we will get the 2-minute warning. And Dallas continuing to move the ball on the ground, working on that clock. Tom Landry. No smiles, but he must like it.
This is the big guy, binoculars and all, Dan Tanner of Vegas, Robert Urich.
You can see all the way to North Hollywood with these things.
How'd you like Monday Night Fever, the show that'll be seen Thursday night?
I've got a great idea. I just thought it'd be a great idea if we got Frank to invite you and Danny Dunn and I over to his house, and we'll talk about the first 10 years of Monday Night Football. You think it's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea.
Why don't we do that Thursday?
I think it will work very well.
Right before the Tampa-Los Angeles game.
All right, we're about to go back to action. What do you think of this game?
Well, I'd say that the Redskins were up to their chin straps and alligators tonight.
And they're all snapping at him, too, Bob. Indeed, Dallas performing very well. A lot of unknown quantities coming into tonight. They have a few proven quantities now. Second down and 8. 1:59 remaining in the game. This is Jones.
Jones looks good.
Mississippi State rookie turns the corner, and he gets down to the 30-yard line.
He looks good, Frank. I'm a little surprised. Of course, it's the first time seeing him play, but he's had a heck of a night tonight. He's got good quickness, good instincts to move.
Another thing we haven't talked about either, Preston Pearson not being with Dallas this year on the injured reserve.
That's right.
And, of course, he was a great receiver, but they feel they can get that from Ron Springs. And, of course, those are the sad faces of the Washington Redskins.
Very depressed, and understandably so.
You get the feeling under Jack Pardee that when these two teams meet again November the 23rd, there'll still be a lot on the line. Butch Johnson, number 86 in motion. Ron Springs gets the call.
You know, Butch Johnson, you talk about, he's a proud papa. I believe it's as of last night, and he's got him a Butch Johnson Jr. He's a proud papa out there. Butch is a heck of a wide receiver.
I think he's a terrific player.
He complains sometimes about not playing full
Well, he
time.
feels he's underused, and, you know, he's got a point.
Well, it's just the point is they only have places for 2 of those folks, so they have 3 of them that are really good.
When you remember the touchdown catch he made in the Super Bowl game against
that was
Denver,
extraordinary.
I mean, it was just one of the great catches.
And these Cowboys go to Denver next week to play the Broncos, who played the Philadelphia Eagles.
They really got racked up by the Eagles.
And next week, Washington will be in against the Giants in New York. On second down and 8, getting the call is Jones over the left side. Getting inside the 25-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 4.
There you see it. ABC News Nightline, 30 minutes right after this game. 11:30 on the West Coast. See how well I read those graphics?
Boy, that's pretty caught on.
Thank you.
And Washington will let it run out. And they will lose their season opener, 17-3 to the Dallas Cowboys. Their nemesis for so many years in the Eastern Division of the NFC, and Tom Landry off to another winning start.
This is the 16th year in a row for them to win their opener.
I think it is. 16 years that they have won their opening game. They've had 14 consecutive years.